The stage was set for a pivotal moment in the 2024 election. Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz and Republican nominee J.D. Vance faced off in their final debate. The stakes could not be higher. The nation watched with bated breath as these two men presented starkly different visions for America's future. The debate, hosted by CBS in New York, was tense from the outset. Walz, the experienced governor, exuded an air of quiet confidence. Vance, the political newcomer, appeared eager to prove himself on the national stage. Both men knew that every word, every gesture could sway the undecided voters who hold the key to victory. The debate covered a wide range of issues, from the economy to healthcare to climate change, but it was foreign policy that emerged as the dominant theme of the night. The candidates' starkly different views on America's role in the world were laid bare for all to see. This debate was not just about policy differences, it was about two fundamentally different visions of America's place in the world. And it was about which candidate had the experience, the temperament, and the vision to lead America into an uncertain future. The debate highlighted a fundamental divide in American foreign policy. Walz argued for a more multilateral approach. He emphasized diplomacy, cooperation with allies, and a commitment to international institutions. Vance, in contrast, championed a more unilateralist approach. He stressed American strength, a willingness to act alone when necessary, and a skepticism of international entanglements. Walz accused the previous administration of undermining America's standing in the world. He pointed to the withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal and the Paris Climate Accord as prime examples. He argued that these actions had alienated allies and emboldened adversaries. Vance countered by arguing that the previous administration had restored American credibility on the world stage. He cited the administration's tough stance on China and its negotiations with North Korea as evidence. The candidates' contrasting views were evident in their responses to specific foreign policy challenges. On China, Walz called for a strategy that combined competition with cooperation. He argued that the United States needed to work with allies to address common challenges, such as climate change and trade. Vance, on the other hand, advocated for a more confrontational approach. He argued that China posed a unique threat to American interests, and that the United States needed to take a strong stand against Chinese aggression. The debate made clear that the election would have profound consequences for America's role in the world. The next president would inherit a complex and challenging international landscape. The stakes could not be higher. The Iran nuclear deal became a flashpoint in the debate. Walz argued that the previous administration's decision to withdraw from the deal had been a grave mistake. He contended that the deal had been working to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. He warned that the withdrawal had increased the risk of a nuclear-armed Iran. Vance defended the decision to withdraw from the deal. He argued that the deal was flawed from the outset. He claimed that it did not do enough to address Iran's support for terrorism or its ballistic missile program. He maintained that the withdrawal had put maximum pressure on Iran to negotiate a better deal. The exchange over the Iran deal was heated and emotional. It reflected the deep divisions that exist in the United States over how to deal with Iran. Walz accused Vance of being reckless and irresponsible. He argued that Vance's approach would lead to war. Vance countered by accusing Walz of being weak and naive. He claimed that Walz would appease Iran and endanger American security. The debate over the Iran nuclear deal was about more than just one agreement. It was about America's credibility, its commitment to diplomacy, and its willingness to work with allies. It was a stark reminder of the high stakes of the election. Section 4. Swaying the undecided performance and perception. Beyond the policy positions, the candidates' performances were also under scrutiny. Pundits and voters alike analyzed their demeanor, their command of the issues, and their ability to connect on an emotional level. In a race this close, even the smallest misstep could have significant consequences. Walz, with his years of experience in government, projected an aura of competence and steadiness. He spoke with measured tones, emphasizing his record of bipartisanship and his commitment to working across the aisle. His challenge was to overcome any perception of being too entrenched in the status quo, especially among younger voters seeking change. Vance, on the other hand, needed to demonstrate that his lack of experience in elected office wouldn't hinder his ability to govern effectively. He relied on his charisma and sharp wit, aiming to portray himself as a fresh voice unafraid to challenge the establishment. His task was to convince voters that his outsider status was an asset, not a liability. The post-debate analysis focused heavily on which candidate had won the night. Pundits dissected every word, every gesture, searching for clues about who had gained the upper hand. Ultimately, the impact on undecided voters would depend on whether they were swayed by Walz's experience or Vance's outsider appeal. Section 5. The Long Road Ahead, Impact and Engagement. The vice presidential debate marked a pivotal moment in the 2024 election. It provided a stark reminder of the high stakes of this election and the stark choices facing the American people. The debate also underscored the importance of civic engagement. In the days and weeks following the debate, voters were urged to stay informed, to research the candidates' positions, and to engage in thoughtful discussions with friends, family, and community members. The outcome of this election would have far-reaching consequences for the country and the world. The 2024 election was shaping up to be one of the most consequential in recent history. The vice presidential debate was just one chapter in this unfolding story. The American people would have the final say on November 5th. It was a reminder that the future of the nation rested in their hands.